Hey guys, it's CynikTG here. You might know me as the 99 Bots guy. Today we're going to use a new feature in the conditional button that allows us to check if a player is holding a particular item. We're going to use that in conjunction with the damage amplifier to buff a particular weapon without affecting any of the other weapons that player may have in their inventory. I was recently playing around with the kinetic boomerang thinking, it only does 60 damage per hit and it takes like, if someone's got full shield, full health, it takes like 4 hits before you can actually eliminate them. So what if we buffed that so you could just hit them once and they would die instantly? Now, I thought you could do that with a damage amplifier, but that's going to affect you whatever weapon you're holding. What if we only want to do it when we're holding the boomerang? Well, I come up with an easy way to do that just uses the standard devices that you get with Fortnite. I posted a video about that on Twitter. A couple of people were interested to know how I did it. Shout outs to Crusader Central and Gaming with Thomas for asking how I did this. So without further ado, let's get into it. I've put down a team settings device just so I can give myself all the weapons at the beginning. And then I've got this timer that's set to 1 second. That automatically starts playing at the game start, and then it keeps looping round over and over again. I've got completion behavior set to restart. So every second that's going to send out a signal. That goes to the player counter, which is just going to transmit for all the players on the island every time it gets that signal coming from the timer device. The player counter then sends that signal for every single player on the map to this conditional button and activates it. Now all you have to do is drop the weapon that you want to buff into the conditional button and then set the new option that says require holding item to on. Also make sure that it's not set to consume the key item. Then it's pretty much as simple as just hooking it up so that when that's activated, it gives a damage boost through the damage amplifier. And when the player doesn't have the item, it sends to another damage amplifier that just removes the effect. Also make sure to set the damage amplifiers to respawn instantly. So basically what's happening every second for every player, the conditional button is saying, hey, have you got the boomerang? If they do, then they'll get the damage amplifier, they'll get the boost, 4 times boost. But then the moment they're not holding that item, because it's going through every second, they'll send a signal to the other damage amplifier to say, take this effect away. And then they'll just go back to normal when they're using other weapons or their pickaxe. So let's see that in action. Now I have to say there is one slight bug here, but for some reason the boomerang never registers a hit higher than 100. But this is a 4 times damage amplifier and the usual hit from a boomerang is 60. So actually what's happening here is each hit is doing 240 damage, but for some reason it only shows 100. As you can see, when we switch back to any other weapon, it just goes back to normal damage. Of course we can use this for any weapon we want. For example, here's a grey pistol. And I'm able to kill this guard really quickly with this. This is like way OP for a grey pistol. Conversely, like Tat said on my post on Twitter, you could also use it to debuff particular weapons. So let's nerf this gold heavy sniper and make it absolutely useless even with a headshot. You could use this to rebalance the meta in your maps and make everything feel a little bit more fair if you feel like some weapons are being overused and they're just overpowered. Or maybe you just want to make one weapon a really special weapon and maybe it costs a lot of gold to buy in a vending machine or something and you want it to be really powerful. Then I think this is a really cool way to do that. There's probably better ways to do this. Nightbreaker said on my post on Twitter that he has a way of doing this with Verse, which is also really cool, probably a cleaner solution. So if you work with Verse, you understand how that works. You could probably use this with a conditional button as well, and then maybe save yourself some memory from using fewer devices in total. But for those of us who aren't Verse wizards, I think this is a really cool way to add something a little bit different into your map, make it feel a little bit personalized, until Epic actually give us the ability to change the parameters of weapons. This is probably about as good as it gets. Now, one thing I do have to say, I did do this in UEFN because at the moment whilst I'm recording this video, there is a bug which causes that setting in the conditional button not to work. And that's only affected in Creative 1.0. So that's the reason why I've done this in UEFN. Hopefully Epic are working really hard behind the scenes to fix that as soon as possible. And maybe by the time you're watching this video, that'll already be solved. But watch out for that. If it's not working, that's probably why. So yeah, have fun with that. Buff some guns, nerf some guns, go crazy. Thanks to Crusader Central and Gaming with Thomas, who asked how this was done. I probably wouldn't have made this video if it wasn't for them. Thanks to Tap for your input on debuffing weapons. And thanks to Nightbreaker, who mentioned you could also do this with First. If you like this video and you want to see more like this, hit the subscribe button, give me a like, it all really helps out and I really appreciate it. Let me know down in the comments if you've got anything else that you'd like me to show you in a future video. And with that being said, I'm out of here.